Welcome back to Satisfactory. Today we have a few items on our list of things to do. But first of all, let's go check out the MAM and see what we got in that hard drive. Okay, Caterium wire. Let me just open the recipe thingy and check out. I know which one I want here, but I want to give you guys an analysis of the recipes as well. So the Caterium wire it's okay. It's not the best one of these, but it's okay. The iron alloy ingot, that's a strong recipe, but yeah, no. The bolted frame, on the other hand, that's the one we're going to take, because that is one of the best recipes in the game. Admittedly, it's not that easy at our level right now, because it requires a lot of screws. But it's a good recipe, so we'll take that. And let's have a look at the other things we can take here. I'm wondering about the rebar gun. Now that we have these things produced automatically, I don't think it would be a bad idea to have the rebar gun. So that's definitely something that I would like to take. Caterium. Yeah, now that's not happening anytime soon. Flower petals, I don't need to paint things currently. We don't have those. Slug scanning, no, I don't think we need that, as I've mentioned earlier. We don't have any purple shard slugs yet. Quartz, we need some quartz crystals to get this one. I think we have that, but I don't think we need it. Same with silica, so we need 40 of the basic raw quartz. Sulfur. Yeah, no, we don't need that either yet. Let's go ahead and take that rebar gun. Gonna take 5 minutes. Then we have to take this into account. So 150 iron plates and 50 rotors, and I need to go fetch some more cable. Why isn't this producing... Are we... What's going on here? Oh, that's bad. That's really not ideal at all. Let's grab that one as well. Need 300. Okay, let's grab that and put that back, actually. Go back. There we go. And then we need to put the cable in and click the button. Now this is for coal power.
Milestone reached. Coal is an improved alternative power source to biomass and can be fully automated if provided water with the new pipeline buildings and power throughout the initial setup. Coal has been added to the resource scanner. Note: ensure the close proximity of water to the coal production line. Note: pumps will aid in vertical transport of fluids through pipes. Note: throughput and volume indicators are added to each pipe section automatically.
Any more notes? No. We are going to take as our next milestone basic steel production. Let's select that as a milestone. It's going to take a while. Actually, what I would like to get as our next milestone is the Logistics Mark III, because of the stackable pipeline support, but we do need steel things to do that. So let's just keep that as our next milestone. Now we also have enough power, or we have powered up the base, so we should go have a look here. I did stash some of those expensive items that we got from the wreckages into here. We have 36 coupons. Well then, that's a lot more than I expected. That's quite useful. That makes me very happy. Okay. Does this thing use power currently? Yeah, it uses 30. I don't know if it uses any power when it's not running. Let me check that. We have a current power need of around 200. If I remove that. Okay, so it doesn't consume power when it's not in use. But we're going to take it down anyways, because I don't need it. That means we need to take a look in the awesome shop. Missing screw. Well then. Well, I have screws down at the other level. There are things there that I need to take away, actually, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Whoa. Good thing I have the Caterium boots on. Now, someone asked in the comments, I think it was Jordan, not that button, if you can build, when you do exploring, if you can build foundation towers. Yes, you can if you have the Caterium boots, but it's kind of tricky. Yeah, no, you can do it with these, but it's just annoying. So I won't recommend it. I thought you could do it with these as well. I was almost certain you could. Well, the thing with these is that you can... Why do I keep right-clicking? You can place them, and with the Caterium boots, I think you can jump on... Yep, you can jump on top of them, but that doesn't help if you have one. You would have to have two beside one another and jump in between them, so that could potentially be annoying. Let's grab that. Oh. Nothing's coming in. Oh, that's not a bad thing then. Let's remove these. These machines are redundant. Also, in regards to the alternative recipes, there is something there that I want to address. That specifically being the basic recipes versus the alternate recipes. For some things, it might be useful if I actually provide you... No, I don't need two of them. If I actually provide you with a design for how to make an item without using the alternate recipe. So I'm thinking that depending on what we're doing, I will show you a setup for how to build something with the basic recipe. But I won't do a full production line of it and full calculation if I have a superior alternate recipe, obviously. Because that would be an insane amount of time spent on something that would not be useful. So we got the casted screw recipe as an example of this. I've already done screws the basic way, but let me just put down a constructor here to show that. So regular screw takes 10 iron rods per minute to produce 40 screws per minute, whereas if you use the casted screw, you take 12.5 iron ingots per minute, and then you get 50 parts per minute out from that. It's a little bit more finicky to get onto a belt, since 3 of these will produce more than a Mark II belt can handle, so you have to use some creative splitting here if you want to fill belts. But you can also just underclock, which is something that we'll come back to. But I could, for instance, do a target production rate here of, say, 40 per minute. Now that won't do anything to the numbers up here, because it has to be powered and actually producing things for these numbers to change, which is something that I'm hoping that they will change later on. But this should be 10. It should take it down to 10 iron ingots per minute and output 40 parts per minute, which would then mean that if you have 3 of these at 80%, or 2 of them at 100% and 1 at 40%, no, 60%, you would get 1 belt of 120 screws from 3 of these. So that's one way of handling that, also keeping power in mind. The other recipe we got was not here. It's in the I'm doing everything wrong today. It's in the assembler. Crouching clearance. Guess it can't be put there because the floor is too steep. Let's put it here. We got the bolted iron plate. Now here you can see that this thing requires 250 screws per minute and 90 iron plates per minute, and it gives you 15 iron plates per minute, as opposed to the basic recipe which gives you 5. Now, if you look at the costs here, 30 iron plates and 60 screws for 5, as opposed to 90 iron plates and 250 screws. You actually do lose some of the raw material here. This is a more costly in terms of iron than having 3 of these running, but these each require 15 megawatts of power, so you're saving 30 megawatts of power, which is also something that you should take into consideration. So when we get coal power up and running, we are saving coal but spending a little bit more iron to have this. Then you have the best of the recipes, which I won't use yet because there's not that much copper in the desert area. This one gives you 5.6 parts per minute for 18.75 iron plate and 37.5 wire per minute. I probably will use the bolted iron plate myself. The stitched iron plate is a better recipe on all accounts. Both for efficiency in terms of if you have iron wire, this is really cheap, apparently. 30 per minute as opposed to 18.75 per minute, and you can produce more. So efficiency-wise, resource-wise, this is the best recipe, but I prefer the bolted one because it's easier on the power. And it's also easier to set up before we get iron wire. That said, I probably will switch to the stitched iron plate at some point, because setting up many bolted iron plates assemblers is not fun because of that screw requirement. It does require Mark III belts to be viable at all. I obviously cannot transport 250 screws into one machine without a Mark III belt that it can carry 270. Then we got the bolted frame, which takes 7.5 reinforced iron plates per minute and 140 screws, and gives you 5 of the modular frames, as opposed to 3 reinforced iron plates and 12 iron rods for 2 per minute. So here again, you can see that this is... it's a bit more expensive in terms of no, actually it isn't. Yeah, it's a bit more expensive in terms of screws, but it's a very much better recipe to use, which means that that is a good example. I don't see any point of setting up an assembly line of modular frames using the basic recipe, because I want to do it with the bolted frame recipe anyways, and I think that you are all going to be able to do the calculations for this yourself. It's just a matter of putting up a couple of these and transport in the items, whereas I can just set up 2 of these. I still need the Mark III belt unless I underclock this. I don't know what I should underclock it to. I need to do the calculations on that. If I want to use a Mark II belt on this. I probably will, because I will use this even if I don't have Mark III belts. We need to get up automated production of modular frames very soon. But that means I can get away with 1 of them instead of 2, and power is the main concern right now. Final tip, when I was out hard drive hunting, when we were over there in that other oasis area, you get a ton more wood from chopping down the trees there than you do from the trees here. So I got so much wood that I think we're covered on power for a while, until we get up coal power. And even without coal power, I can just take a trip over there and we'll be set for a long while. Okay, now what do we want in here? First of all, we want the Foundations expansion pack. That's 3 tickets. This has a frame foundation, which is useful for pipes, and it has the glass foundation. I want the inverted ramp pack. Note that you put things in the cart up here. I don't particularly need any of the others here yet. I don't need that. I do need the walkways and the factory railing. Equipment, that's a good thing. You can buy equipment that you have, that you can make in the equipment workshop. Then we don't have to make them, we just buy them, but we won't do that yet. Parts, we can get fuel here, but I'm not going to spend our fixed tickets on that. You can also get any part, a full stack of any part that you have production capability of. Some of them at a premium, like 4 tickets for 50 modular frames. But it's a useful prices option. Okay, attachments. I don't particularly need these. Windowed walls. Yeah, well, I think we can take conveyor walls, door walls, and windowed walls. Yeah, because we already have the walls. This should cost 28 tickets. Means we have 8 tickets left. Is there anything else I can take then? Don't feel that I need these currently. The double ramps, they are actually quite nice. I don't need that. I guess we'll take stairs. Those are useful. Statues. I really want to get one of the golden nut. That's an excellent statue. No. Let's save the other tickets in case we need something urgently. What we do need is copper. Now, I happen to know that there is copper out there somewhere. That should be a big surprise to everyone. Imagine that, there's copper out there. Who would have thought? But what I'm going to look at is where it is. There's a pure Caterium node down there. But that one requires explosives, I believe. Copper. There's a normal copper node down there. There's a normal copper node that we haven't tapped just up there. And there's a normal copper node we haven't tapped just over there as well. So we have 2 normal copper nodes very close by. Normal copper nodes are actually quite nice because you can overclock them. And yes, we are going to get back into or get back to the overclocking when it becomes relevant. But for now, let's run over to the location of. I should have put those tickets back into the chest. Let's run out to the copper node that's over here. This one is iron, I think. Yep. Now, if I had an overclock cell, I could put that in here to increase the production of this miner by 50%, so I could get 90 per minute, or I could put 2 in here, and it would produce 120. It would dramatically increase the power consumption, though. So that's not an option until we get the coal power up and running. Let's grab these. And some of you might have noticed that I'm building the foundations on... I don't think I've mentioned this before. I'm building them... I have one exception to this, but I'm building them on the northeast-southwest axis. That was the word I was looking for. I don't know if this is too high. This should be a normal one. Yep. How does that fit? That fits perfectly, so all we need to do is put down an equipment workshop and handcraft a portable miner. There we go. Remove that again. And then put down the miner. I should also check the man, because I think that is done researching now. Yep. So now we have the rebar gun. I don't think she particularly has anything to say about that. But we also need the spiked rebars. No use having the gun without ammo. Other than that, is there anything at all that I think we should research currently? Not particularly. There's some quartz here. I will mine that. And I'm wondering if that looks like limestone. Yep. Let's just... this looks ominous. That is ominous. That's a big spitter. I don't want to fight that yet. Let's just have a quick look along the side of the mountain here and see if there's any other sulfur or quartz deposits. What is that? It looks like iron. Yep. Normally I would drive. Well, I guess that's one way of dealing with it, but that's a big spitter. Oh, I loathe those. They do so much damage. Did the other one see us? Or is it just this one? Oh, the other one saw us as well. So 2 big spitters. Crikey. Okay, that's one of them down. Okay, haha. Ooh, oof. Okay, so that's one normal quartz node. Grab these as well. And so we have 2 normal quartz nodes that close to base. That's definitely something nice. And we don't want to fall off here because this is the end of the world. Interestingly enough. I wonder if they're going to add more of this landscape to the world eventually. Okay, so I have 15 quartz. Let's mine some. I'm doing all of the things I shouldn't do in this video because I had a very specific plan about what I was going to do, and now I'm doing everything else. Sorry about that. But it's fine. Let's get 49. That should be plenty. I'm actually quite happy with the fact that I defeated 2 spitters and only took 3 damage, or 3 points of damage. I wonder if we can get that slug as well. Is that one of the green spitters, or is that a red one? Yeah, that's a green one. Those are... No, it isn't. Not a good time to autosave game. Yeah, this one was a bit more annoying due to the landscape. 4 pips. Yeah, it's fine. That is a yellow slug, so I'm... That is actually not... It wasn't a waste of time or nuts. Let's put these in our hand. Okay, what I'm going to do now, we have limestone here as well. We don't need that currently. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the recording because I'm going to draw the belt into the base and then we should get things set up. So here's to hoping that everything works as it should today. I think that I very specifically want to show this because now we have copper ore coming in here at level 5. Which means that it's going to be a little bit of a conundrum to get it into the smelting area here and then up there. So I'm not going to connect up that belt to here, but I am going to connect up this belt to there. And I've, of course, placed these two at an angle. That means we should get the 90-degree turns. And then I gauged this in accordance with those, so we should get a 90-degree turn there as well. And this is kind of the curse of having only tier 2 belts, because one tier 3 belt is enough to supply all 8 of these smelters. Did I do that correctly? Certainly looks as if I did it correctly. Then we need to take this. No, that's the wrong way. We need to take this one and put it into that one. And this one we need to put into that one. Then we can remove the redundant ones here. So these are done. Now this little piece of dirt here is going to be an interesting challenge with the belt that I have up there. Now, one way to solve that is to actually do this. And just place 2 foundations so that we get the snap points. We can place another one. And then we can remove these foundations when we're done. I don't remember if that is sufficient though. We might actually need to use the other foundation. Let me just check that. Come on. There we go. And then we need to go back to this. This is going to be an interesting little challenge here. First of all, I need to figure out what angle I need this one at, which isn't helpful that I have whatever is up there. Those are kind of skewed with the platforms I have down here. So I think that what I should do here, I think it's on this one, but I'm not sure. No, it might actually be here. I want to put 3, I think. No. Hold on. Yeah, it is 3. I want to put 3 of them there, and then I want to climb up on this. And placing elevators is always so finicky. Yeah, that looks correct. We connect that up to this one. Now the question is, does that mean that 2 of these on that foundation matches this? Yeah, it does. So this one is not the correct one. That would go with just 1, but this is the correct one that we want. So, how do I do this then? Well, it's not really that hard actually. Well, it is. Because I needed to snap to that one. And I don't think I can do that here. See, it has a kind of an area where it will snap, and I don't think I will get it correctly either. So I need to place down a couple more foundations. Now, that should be sufficient. If I place a foundation here, I'm not sure if this is going to be correct. Will it? It will. It's fine. We do that. And then we do this. Then we can remove all of these. And this lift here should... yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm glad that I recorded that so that you can see how I dealt with that. Because that is a useful little tip and trick to know. Of course, I connected to the wrong height, but now I don't need to place down those things again. I just need to do this, 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 and this. What was that? Did the power just go? No. What on earth? Did I remove something I shouldn't? I can't remember having heard that sound before. Oh well, no matter. Let's connect that up and connect that up. And now we need to place a stackable conveyor pole at the very edge there. That's going to be floating. That's not good. I don't want it floating. What we'll do here then is we will put down a merger. I think it's there. Because I don't want floating belts or floating stacks. Okay. We'll connect this one to there. And this one to there. That's straight. Yep, it is. And then we can remove these foundations and these two. And of course we also need a belt there. And then from here on out, can I please have a conveyor pole there? Thank you. From here on out, it's just a matter of connecting this up and then connecting up the power. So I will pause the recording again here. And I will see you again soon. And here we go. I just need to change this screen to the correct scene. Here we are. So we now have two smelters, which are together combined producing 60 iron ingots, 30 each, carried over there and up on that lift. And then I did something that I normally wouldn't do, which is place the belt above other constructors. But I didn't want to have a turn here, and that would also ruin the ability to drive, even though this is a very narrow area anyways. I'm taking these over here, and I have two of these stacks where I get these 90-degree curves by having them correctly aligned. You do that, just to remind you, you do that by placing down one of these, and then you make sure that the one that you want to place on this is one away from it. Now, that goes all the way over here, and you may notice that the space elevator is kind of missing. I took it down. We don't need it. It's going to be a while until we need that again. To these three constructors that are each using 20 ingots, which would make for a total of 60, of course, to make copper sheets. And copper sheets are then going into this storage container, and we do need the copper sheets for making pipes. Now, what I think I will do is pause the recording once more while I wait for the copper sheets to be made. I might also handcraft some, because I have a bunch of copper ingots just lying around in one of these containers down there. So I think I'll do that, actually. Handcraft from these copper ingots, and I can probably take out some copper ingots from these smelters as well. And I will make some copper sheets by hand, on. In addition to the ones that we get, because we're going to need a lot of pipe, which means we're going to need a lot of copper sheets. So I will be seeing you very soon. Okay, now we have handcrafted 311 copper sheets, and there should probably be a few more in here. I don't know exactly how many we need, but I'm going to grab them all. So we have 553. And then I'm going to bring you to a part of the base that I haven't shown you yet, but that I've done, not while the game was paused, but I did this in between this episode and the previous one. Over here we have 2 impure coal nodes. It's a shame that they're impure. It will require overclocking. But here we have a large area of concrete foundations. Now, let's remove one of these. Actually, let's remove 3 of them. Underneath here is a nice little pond of water that should be deep enough to support the water extractors. Of course, we're missing rotors, so I need to go pick up that. Since I'm going to be needing to go up and down, let's just make a walkway ramp. This is not going to look pretty, but I need to turn it. So let's make a turn here. And then continue the ramp downwards from there. Remember to use the mouse wheel to rotate things. Yeah, that's sufficient. Because I'm going to need to go up and down here to get copper sheets and rotors, and probably also reinforced steel plates. Yeah, I can put that back in, and let's grab 500. Let's also grab, I think 2 stacks of rotors should be what we need for now. And we can go back down. So the idea here is to have the coal power plants on top of that foundation that I've built here. And then I want to have the water extractors and the piping going underneath. I don't know if it's high enough, so that's something that I have to figure out. I won't do that figuring out in an episode. I will do that in between episodes. But there should be sufficient room here for plenty of water extractors. I don't know exactly how many we need. I wish these things would snap, but that's good enough actually. I could barely have done that more perfectly. Listen to the proud Caledorn. I'm not sure if this works. It should. Use precision button on my mouse. Yeah, that looks good enough. We have 3 of these now. I'm very happy with how I managed to align these guys up. Of course, if I want to build some on the other side, I have to skew them a little bit to get the pipes in alignment. There's also the matter of getting the pipes up, and there's the matter of the height and pumps and all kinds of things. But I will do experimenting in the episode, and then I will... I will do experimenting in between the episodes, and then I will explain carefully and also demonstrate building in the next episode, which will be kind of a second tutorial on pipes, I think. I already have one of those, but I feel that it is good to have a deeper explanation of it than what I have in the tutorial, where I actually show how I build and not just explain it by voice. which is what I did in that other tutorial. So before we end the episode, I want to go to the hub and get off the basic steel production. Now, this one we need steel products to make, this one we need steel products to make, and this one, or to get, and the same with that one. The jump pads, I don't really use them. So let's get this off. I think we need to put in 50 of those, 150 rotors, 1000 copper wire, and 300 concrete. And boom.
Milestone reached. Steel production unlocked. Foundry grants access to new, simple steel parts. An additional project part can now be constructed. Progress to the next phase is now possible.
Oh, she didn't have more to say than that. Okay, that gave us access to the foundry where we can make steel. It gave us access to these we already had access to from the previous one. Here are the new things we got from the MAM. Well, I think most of the things we got access to, well, the coal generator also is new, but that was from the previous technology. So most of the things that we got access to now is actually inside of the production facilities. So for instance, if I slap down an assembler, I don't think we need those for this. No, we don't. Get the versatile framework now, which requires modular frames and steel beams. But let's slap down a constructor instead. So now we can make steel pipes. Those require 30 steel ingots per minute. And we can also make steel beams, which require 60 steel ingots per minute to make 15. The pipes you get 20 of. We can make spiked rebar, but I'm just gonna handcraft that, I think. Yeah. Now, for the coal power plants, I have what we need to build those. I think we will address these in the next episode. It's my primary priority to get these coal generators up. The one thing that I am a bit miffed about is that I can't get that steel technology. We're missing 10 modular frames. I think I can handcraft that quickly. Because I want to check the steel before we end the episode. I don't remember the exact... I think it's 45. There is an alternate recipe that I would very much want to have for the steel, where you use steel ingots and coal instead of using iron ore and coal. Yes, it's 45 iron ore and 45 coal, which gives us 45 steel ingots. And we need 60 to have one of these. 90, so 2 of these foundries is enough to power one of these and one of these. So with 4 foundries we can power 1 beam and 4 pipes, and I do believe we need more pipes than beams from the get-go. We're going to need 90 coal for that. Yeah, I'll do those calculations in between episodes. But I think the next episode will be dedicated to making the pipes. One thing that I think I might do is get Logistics Mark III to get the stackable pipeline supports. Let's see here. So we need 200 of these and 100 of these. We need for 800 steel ingots. Because we just make one each of these. And then we need another 300. So we need 1,100 steel ingots to get these 2 milestone thingies. That would give us access to... I don't remember what the stackable pipeline support actually costs in terms of making it. Let's see here. Stackable pipeline support. Does that require a steel product to make? No, it does not. Yeah, what I'm going to do then, because I feel that I actually need to get this, I'm going to pause the recording while I make sure that I get these parts so that I can or get off the pod to get this Logistics Mark III milestone before we end the episode, because I don't want Ada to tell us all her notes and things off camera, and I really want the stackable pipeline supports before I start messing with the core power in the next episode. So I will be right back. Okay, so I just wanted to show this because this is about as temporary as it gets, because this is truly temporary in the correct sense of the word temporary. I've set up 2 storage containers on each side of 2 foundries, each with 1,300 coal and 1,300 iron ore, and I'm smelting down these into ingots. I might need more, I don't know as of now, but if I need more I'll just make sure to put in more of the ores. So that's fine. It's a bit finicky with the snapping on these. I think I'll take it that way. Or maybe that's a bad idea? No, it isn't. That should work just fine. Put that there. And we don't need Mark II belts coming out. Oh, what on earth did that snap to? Oh, it snapped to the middle of the machine. That's not very helpful. Why? No, that's the thing with the foundries. They don't show the snap arrows, so you have to be a bit more... I don't know why they don't do that. You have to be a bit more doing things by eye on them. But there. There. This one don't need to be Mark II. But this one most definitely does. Connect that up to there. And I will be back when I've created enough steel ingots to and handcrafted the products necessary. There we go. I just have to change the pause screen manually again. Sorry. So I've handcrafted the steel beams and steel pipes. That's something that I probably shouldn't have done that in a tutorial series, because it's not necessarily something that I recommend doing. But yeah, it's so important to me to have that stackable pipe thing for what I have in mind. I could have made a more simplistic setup for the coal than what I have in mind, but yeah, I'd rather not have to go and redo it in this specific series, because things are already taking a lot of time as is. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it like this. Of course, if you want to do it the same, then feel free. The stackable conveyor for the pipelines is actually quite useful. So if you have the patience to do this manually, then by all means do so. It's not a bad idea to do it. It just takes a little bit more time and a lot of having something on your spacebar. Anyways, let's launch the pod.
Milestone reached. Logistics can be improved with a larger storage container and enhanced conveyor belt efficiency.
So that was that milestone. Now we have the jump pads, the advanced steel production, which I'm not going to bother with yet, and also the hypertubes, which I'm also not going to bother with yet. They do require steel pipes, so I need to have those. I think they actually require all of these to build. So it's no point in having those, but getting the stackable pipeline support, that was a point in doing, because I can, where is that? Logistics? Yeah. I can build these with the materials that I have without having to mess around with handcrafting steel. That's it for this episode, though. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will be seeing you all in the next one.